I'm Sharon Lynch, and I'm from Texas, lived in Texas all my life, and I've been married 28 years, and I have 2 kids. And I have been with OnFire Books about a year. I originally owned a home decorating business and have been in healthcare for 20 years, helping women to run up the corporate ladder as fast as they can together. I really am passionate about the fact that as women, we're in a man's world, and if we just lock arms together and start looking at all of the women as an ally, as someone, even if it's just for a season in your life, if you can lock arms with each other, find out what each other's strengths are, and just really look for the SWOT, strengths, opportunities, weaknesses, and look to each other to help each other fill in your weaknesses and then draw on each other's strengths, you can go a lot farther, a lot faster, and have a ton more fun. The person that inspired me and really changed the trajectory of my life was I got out of college, had a business degree, which I have no idea why I had a business degree. It makes no sense for who I am, but I got a business degree and I met a woman and got a female boss in an all men's world, and she would always had the #1 numbers in the country, and yet we celebrated birthdays, we had all the female moments behind the scenes as a corporate collective, and yet when we went in the boardroom and we presented and did what we did it the man's way, and yet she showed me how to translate being a woman in a man's world. It affected everything I did in every job for the rest of my life, and I always looked for another woman that I could do that to that was younger than me, because at the time when I started I was 20, and she was 40, and I thought she was ancient. So I've learned that's not at all the truth. I think that the shift that needs to happen with women to create the synergistic effect to move the way we need to move, the way we want to move, the way we're capable of, is starting at the college level, where I'm seeing the girls at Texas A&M, where my daughter goes, where we're talking about it. We're talking about they meet once a week to discuss roadblocks, opportunities, things that they can do, blind spots for each other that you need to help each other uncover, because there's so many things that we have learned as a social mores for whatever group you were raised in. And so what we have to do is we have to help each other to, #1, to think of each other as an ally, and then #2, help each other to grow so that we pour into each other, but then accept it. What someone's saying to you, you need to learn to accept. Criticism is good. Hearing what your blind spots are good, because then you can improve. And so I think if we look at it as a learning opportunity, it just creates a whole different ball game for women. If I could talk to a younger me, it would be to set aside the pride and let people in, because I think the #1 thing for me was the fact that I wanted to come across as perfect, as having it all together, and I tended to not want to let people really know what was going on. So then I wasn't able to let people really love on me when I needed it. And I think that women today are better at that than maybe my generation was, but I think that we could all get better at that. I think the way to best begin to obtain the gender equity is really to begin to work with a group of women, begin to set goals, set boundaries, set ideas, and then own those, be accountable. Because sometimes what we do is we say we want it, we say that it's something we're pursuing, but then when we get there, we lose a little bit of our unction and begin to lose a little bit of confidence and think, oh, well, there's someone better, there's someone probably that knows more than I do, and we lose what we've gained in our heads. And so I think we have to get out of our own heads, and maybe that's by writing things down, working with other women, so that we kind of hold ourselves accountable and each other, so that we know where we want to be next year at this time. For me, balance, it requires a healthy balance of good food, chocolate. I believe in chocolate, Zumba, and church. My daily routine starts out with reading the Bible, spending some meditation time, quietly starting my day, music, and then I have a list of everything that I have planned for that day, and I go over that and then start off. And I actually have things listed hour by hour and really task by task, but then I have things put in an elephant and then in the rabbits. And then the elephants are the things that I have to get done, and the rabbits are ones that I want to get done. So empty nesters is in term a very negative term, and it comes with a lot of shame. And I've seen a lot of women go through a dark time after their kids leave, and they think, you know, what's left? And it's really an identity problem. And it's, we're mind, body, and spirit, and we have to nourish that. But sometimes when we're raising kids, that gets pushed to the side. And so I'm trying to get women to start viewing empty nest as a time to revitalize your spirit, work on your body, work on the excitement of what women can be, all that they can do. This is a new chapter, and to begin to talk to each other about it, admit you're not doing good. And that's what I did. Is I had a group of wine and women friends that we met on Thursday nights, and I said, I'm having a really hard time. And once I said that, and then I allowed them in, they walked through that time with me. And by Halloween, I remember thinking, oh, I'm okay now. This is starting to get fun. By January, I was having a blast. And so I think I've seen a lot of women that didn't have that good of a win and are still struggling. So that's my heart, is for women to have a second half even better than their first half. It is a group that meets, and it's a challenge for every woman that begins to go through this, to look at this as really a revitalize of your whole life, kind of a revamp. And if, my goal would be to eventually have a weekend retreat for women, that we get excited and reset goals that are so much bigger than you would ever dream. And with what I'm doing with OnFire Books, it's just kind of one of those things that I was open to new opportunities and excited, and it came along at a time when I had time to do it. I want to travel the world. I have a t-shirt line that I want to start, and it's going to be positive affirmations, but also tongue-in-cheek funny things. And my life after 50 is, why not have brownies for breakfast? My t-shirts are going to say brownies for breakfast, and I believe those will sell. I believe that women need to start having fun, not take life so seriously, be silly, and make a difference while having fun. It gives me chills. It literally goes through my body, because I think about what I've accomplished with women and the silent mentors that started in my 20s. That I can think about even to this day that made a difference. And when I think about the power of women, I just see mentally a picture of women all locking arms, and I see it all across the globe. And I think about that woman 14-hour flight away from me that I can lock arms with, and think about how we can pour into one another and make the world, just for the next generation, more powerful in a way we've never had the ability to do till now. My legacy, I think, would be about women. I do have a passion for women and for their voice. And I think it started, when I was a young mother, had a serious illness, and kind of got the floor taken out from under me. And it was because of women that pulled me back in. And so that's what I want. I would like every woman that I touch to have felt more inspired and more encouraged, but really more loved, because we want to be connected with women. So I just want to take off the mask and make them feel like they knew me and that I knew them.